Hey folks, happy Friday and welcome to a pop-up emergency alert brief. And when I say the word emergency, I don't mean it in a bad way. At Top Gun Options, I think that's awesome. As I speak to you right now, the VIX is up nearly 15%. For the past week, I've been pounding one of my Whizisms into the dirt, trying to pound it into everybody's head here. When volatility is cheap, you buy it. And obviously, when it's expensive, you sell it. For the past 4 days, I have said, as the VIX broke 11, I said, folks, this is absolutely nuts. Period. There is so much going on in the world, and in my strategic briefs this week, I've given you what's going on in the world, from Canada versus Saudi Arabia to Iranian sanctions to Turkey and the lira, and we'll talk about what Donald Trump did this morning. But yesterday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And it's funny because I've gotten already about 6 or 7 emails to support, jokingly saying, "Hey Whiz, we gotta change your call sign from Whiz to Nostradamus." Yesterday afternoon, folks, we did a analyze your trade session where I put on a VXX double vertical. Yesterday afternoon, we knocked out a good hour brief where I said, folks, this is nuts. That's it. We have got to get long volatility. This market is going to roll over. I use the analogy that we're climbing Mount Everest, the market is hypoxic, and we're going to implode. When? I said, I don't know. I said, over the next couple weeks, something is going to happen to freak this market out. And what did we do? We employed a tactic called a bullish double vertical. And simply, folks, what that is 2 vertical spreads on top of each other with the same strategic mindset. Think about it. If you're bullish, so look at volatility, folks, and I briefed you on this yesterday. Now we're up nearly 16% on the VIX as I talk. This is awesome. I love this, folks. We're up about $800-900 in one day on being long volatility. This is This week, I briefed you on all the institutional and hedge fund calls I've been on this week. The market was looking for a reason to sell off, and Donald Trump absolutely pounding, the lira into raising tariffs and just kicking Turkey in the gut. He reminds me of Ronald Reagan. Remember, when was it, in the 80s or something like that, some Libyan agents blew up a discotheque. Man, I haven't used that word in a couple of years. A disco in Berlin, and I think they killed or wounded. I should know my history here, but it was like a 19-year-old, army person. Couple months, whenever it was later, the Department of Defense went to President Reagan and said, "Hey, sir, we found out it was Libyan agents that did this." The man put an aircraft carrier right in the Gulf of Sidra, and he launched bombers out of England and our good allies, France. The cheese-eating surrender monkeys wouldn't let us fly through French airspace, so we had to go around France. But we pounded Libya into the dirt for going after and trying to kill at least one of our servicemen. This is awesome. There's a pastor who's being locked up in Turkey, and Erdogan is the man's a piece of shit. I can't believe that Turkey is still a part of NATO. With friends like that, who needs enemies? I'm rambling here, but here's my issue. I said volatility is going to spike. I briefed everybody strategically on what could happen, and here we are, literally less than 24 hours later. This trade is already up near, as I'm speaking, almost up $1,000. A bullish double vertical, I put on a bull put spread, which means I think volatility was going to go up, and then I put on a bull call spread. What's really cool about a bullish double vertical is we take a credit spread, a bull put spread. I love the word credit, man. I'm bringing in credit. And I use that credit to buy a bull call spread. That's a debit spread. Look at this, folks. Look down here. We brought in a credit yesterday of 13 cents, or about $2,000. We got in, listen to me, here's the best analogy. We got paid $2,000 by the market to hedge against a spike in volatility all the way out to August 31st. Hold on, Wiz, say it one more time. Somebody walked into my kitchen and sat down and said, "Hey, Wiz, for the month of August, I'm going to pay your auto, home, and life insurance, okay? Paid. You're hedged." And let me show you the metrics of this trade. So that was the trade, and here are the metrics. Risk in $5,500. That was based on trading 150 contracts. I'm going to teach you here at Top Gun Options that we have an SOP, standard operating procedure. And based on a $100,000 notional mono portfolio, we don't want to risk, or I don't want to risk more than 5%. Right? I want to live to fight another day. So that's about $5,000, a little north of that. But look at the potential gain. This trade, risking 55, could make $9,500 if we see a big spike in volatility. And as I said, literally, not 24 hours later, we're seeing a huge spike in volatility. Dow's down 250, the VIX is up 15%. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And this is the type of superior execution you can see here at Top Gun Options. Folks, and here's the replay on the page. You know what? Maybe I'll make this page public so you can watch the replay from yesterday afternoon and take a look and take a look at this trade, because look at this volatility. This trade's at 9 cents right now, and we could get in for, I think 13, some people got 13, 14 cents. Let's say you got 14 minus 9 cents equals 5 times 150 contracts equals, in one day, this trade's up $750. And remember, folks, markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. Let's take a look at a chart of VXX. Let's bring the 3-month chart up. When we broke 30 earlier in the week, I said, this is nuts, guys. We haven't seen this low on the VXX in ages. And like I said, I give in my opinion, a pretty good damn strategic and operational brief 4 days a week at 1 o'clock every day. Turkish crisis rattles currency markets. And the president's tweet, I was in the gym this morning, and that tweet, I stopped my workout. I'm like, man, I gotta send out an urgent alert here. We have new sanctions on Russia. If the president is colluding with Putin, or did collude with Putin, he's the worst colluder ever, because now we put even more. We have existing sanctions on Russia, and now we put more. So there's some volatility. The Iranian sanctions kicking back in. I didn't agree necessarily strategically with the president a week ago when he said, yeah, I'll sit down with this dude. I'll sit down with anybody, anytime. I get what he's saying, and he's crazy like a fox, because this guy responded and said, what, you can kiss my ass, I'm never going to talk to you. Well, now the president can turn this guy into hair, teeth, and eyeballs and go, hey, man, I tried, but you're not getting nukes. And now, instead of you screaming death to America and saying you're going to wipe off the face of the earth, we're actually going to do that to you first. Saudi Arabia and Canada are in a huge dust-up based on the Canadian foreign minister's tweet. Saudi Arabia recalled their ambassador, booted the Canadian ambassador, dumped almost all of their investments in Canada. They're recalling nearly 8,000 Saudi students. What a shit show, folks. And then, oh, by the way, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? China's retaliating with new tariffs. We're in the middle of a full-blown trade war. I told you throughout the week, if you got one of your slots here at Full Throttle, I said, we're done, man. We're climbing Mount Everest. We're getting hypoxic. It is time to get long volatility. And here we are, like I said, not 24 hours later. I'm already, my phone's buzzing with people posting in the Ready Room, and I'm getting some nice emails about, holy crap, Whiz. It ain't rocket surgery, folks. If any of you were looking to put new capital to work at record highs here, you're nuts. Here's the Wall Street Journal headline that I told you. When was this? August 8th. What's today? The 10th? So what was this? Wednesday, this headline in the Journal came out. Traders pile into bets that stock rally will continue. That's it. I told you in the 26 years that I've been doing this, folks, every time the Wall Street Journal has this type of headline, like retail traders pile back into the market. 1 potato, 2 potato, sell. It's the Joe Kennedy, selling heads up, right? Remember Joe Kennedy? It's a true story. Joe Kennedy walked into work one day and he said, get me out of everything. We're out of everything. And everybody's like, why, sir? He's like, my shoe shine guy just gave me stock advice. And then 2-3 weeks later, it was the famous crash of the market. So, folks, this is I predicted this, that something was going to happen. Didn't think today it would be Turkey. It was going to be something, and the market needed an excuse to sell off. So on these days, our Jan 20s and some of our front-month bullish spreads should be red. But if you don't have a green on your screen today, and it's a hedge that's making money, either long volatility, this thing's down to 5 cents. Holy crap, look at this. In the time I talked, so it just was at 5 cents. That would be, what's that, 14? 14 minus 5 equals, times how many contracts? 150. Now that trades up $1,400. As I spoke to you, volatility is racing. The market, and markets don't tend to be long going into the weekends, folks. Why? Anything can happen over these weekends, man. Look at this: the president and his phone, China trade war, Iran, the Turkey issue, Canada, Saudi Arabia. You got to be a member here, folks. If this is okay, now it's at 7 cents. Either way, guys, we're looking at a massive one-day gain. Let's just average between 750 and 1400 and say you're up $1,000 in a day on a hedge. What would I do if if I wanted to close this out in one day? I'd take that grand in profit and roll it back into some of my good-looking Jan 20s, Amazon, Raytheon, our Sin stock Win, CSX, our transport stock. So I don't look at these days as bad because I have hedges on, right? I have bilge pumps, just like the USS Top Gun options. If the market takes a couple torpedoes, man, we got bilge pumps, and then we take what the good out of those bilge pumps, the profits, and then we roll them back into our long positions that might be getting a little kicked in the gut right now, but they're long out the Jan 20, so they have a world of time to work. So, folks, 2 weeks ago, I opened up the doors to my trading squadron for an entire week, which almost nobody does in this space. They give you 50 PowerPoint slides and say, please, throw this large amount of money at us and then believe us that we're good. We opened up the doors and I showed you that we were good. Yesterday, we were talking about a potential losing trade on FXI. And I said, you know what? The one out the next Friday, I'm going to hang out, man. This is a sugar high. This was a sugar high when the PBOC injected capital. I said the market's going to wake up and say, wait, that's actually a bad thing. And it imploded again. The other day, the PBOC, again, tried to pump some in, and I said, hang on, guys, it's going to go down again. The market realizes when the government's starting to get involved in propping up the market, it might be like I said, a short-term, jolt, Red Bull jolt, but the market's going to roll over. So the FXI trade, our 43.5 bear call spread, is now looking pretty profitable in a day. This is why if your strategic mindset and your commit criteria, 2 terms, and 2 parts of our trade plan that I'm going to teach you about here at Top Gun Options, if those things are sound, don't get out of the trade. That's the discipline, folks. And we have risk management because we trade spread. So I wanted to kind of send this urgent alert video out as a, not to tout my horn, but to say that this stuff works, man. This wouldn't be year number 8 for Top Gun Options if we didn't know what the hell we were doing here. So one day, and if you look at, you could take a 2-week test flight. I'll tell you how to do that. If you look at the replays for this week, what did I say about volatility? Tuesday, I was like, we might talk about it, and then we ran out of time. I said, you know what? I might do it tomorrow in the accelerated retirement session. And then I didn't. I said, you know what? I want one more day because I think vol can go down a little bit more. And then when did we do it? Yesterday. And here we are today with the VIX up double digits. So, folks, men lie, numbers don't. So here you go. Showed you the trade. If you're not a member, this is a free trade for you. But here's what you need to do, man. I mean, like I said, a free week of live trading and training where most places charge like $495 just for a week of access. I did it for free, man. And I told you next full throttle, I'm probably cutting the number of live briefs in half because it's too much. It's too much good stuff, to be honest with you. So do me a favor, just go to our homepage and take one of these trials. The one I strongly recommend you get into is the advanced. So here's where you need to go. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/advanced. It's not advanced because you need to be a Jedi Master. We call it advanced because you get access to everything we do, all 4 live trade briefs throughout the week. If you just kind of want access to one, like our accelerated retirement brief on Wednesdays, and less services, go with the beginner. If you want, I think it's like 3 trade briefs. I think there's like 2 trade briefs a week, 3, and then just do the advanced, guys. It's 38 freaking bucks. I think my glass of 1942 tonight out in Miami is going to cost probably $58. So for the price of a drink in Miami, you can take a 2-week test flight into what we do here at Top Gun Options. And you can get in here and watch yesterday's replay when I gave the whole speech on why I'm a little freaked out that volatility is so low and we need to get bullish on volatility. Here we are, not 24 hours later, and volatility is really going through the roof, okay? Again, folks, I can drag you to the Top Gun Options River. If you ain't going to drink, I can't do anything about it, man. As I said, men lie, numbers don't. We closed some great trades this week, an Iron Condor on oil with the XLE that made about $3,600, $4,000, an Amazon bull put spread that made $2,500. Amazon bull put spread, and then we had our one-day weekly trade on Amazon that I think we closed on Tuesday for what, $1,250 or $1,240, $1,200 in a day, weekly options, folks. So again, I don't know what else I can tell you, man. Just please take a 2-week test flight. 98% of our people who take two-week test flights stay in the service, and then after they do it for a month or two, they end up calling us and say, hey, man, can I get an annual membership and get a discount? Absolutely, you can. So at least take the 2-week test flight, guys. The next couple weeks are going to be very, very interesting with everything that's going on in the world, and you do not want to fly around this market alone. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Make sure you head over to go.topgunoptions.com/advanced and see what we're doing here at Top Gun Options, because we're, like I said, we're having a blast trading this market. And if you're not and you're a little confused, today's your last day of doing that, okay? So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see you on your 2-week test flight Monday afternoon in our weekly options live trade brief. We'll see you.